Welcome everyone to this old-time fiddle lesson on how to play the tune Bullet the Wagon. This is a three-part A tune. It's a lot of fun. It's a bouncy tune. It's fun to play. Pretty challenging, but I'm going to show it to you today and we're going to break it apart. But first, I'll play the tune at full speed and you can see the melody, listen to it, see how it goes, and then I'll slow it down and finally I'll break it into phrases and show you some of the bowings I use. I'm going to play this tune in A-E-A-E. Cross tuning, old-time fiddle cross tuning, but you can also play this tune in standard tuning. And this version comes from the Lewis brothers from their 1929 recording. Here we go. Alright, there's the tune at full speed or moderate speed. The version from the Lewis brothers is actually pretty quick and I've slowed it down quite a bit, but feel free to play it at whatever tempo you like. But now let me slow it down even more so you can see more of what's going on. And for any advanced players out there, you might be able to pick up most of the melody from the slow version. So let's slow it down. Also, don't worry about the bowing yet, just focus on the melody. I don't use the same bowings when I slow a tune down. So just focus on what the actual notes are. Alright, that's the A part. Here comes the B part. Alright, there's the tune slowed down. Now let me break it into phrases and show you in even more detail each little segment here. So here's the first phrase. This happens all on the A string, and you'll want to use your pinky for that E note. Just a note on that, because if you're going to use a shuffle bowing like I do, you want to keep it all in the same string. It makes the bowing flow a lot easier instead of trying to cross strings right there, which makes it kind of choppy. So you'll have to use your pinky on this part if you want to play it smoothly and rhythmically with your bowing. So here we go. Here's the first phrase. Second phrase. Third phrase. And then the final phrase in this segment. Okay, second half of the A part. All right, there's all the phrases for the A part. If you're watching this on YouTube or any video service, you can pause and take a closer look at those phrases if you want. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can actually use the slow down feature even more if you want to slow down any part of this video to take a closer look at a part that you're having problems with. All right, there's the A part broken down into phrases. Now let's look at the B part. That's the first phrase. Second part. Second phrase, I mean. So if you put those together, let's try that again. And then the phrase following that. So that's that little tag on the end. So if we were to look at that whole section there. That's the first half of the B part. The second half of the B part. So that's all the same, and the tag on this part is. So one more time, that last tag of the B part. All right, there's all the phrases for the B part. Now let's look at the C part, the third part of the tune. It starts with an open string in this cross tuning, which is the G tuned up to an A. Obviously, if you're in standard tuning, this would be you'd be placing your first finger down. So it starts out with this big long note. That's pretty much the first phrase. You can see I'm using my third finger there for that part. And now when you get into this run that gets you back up to the high strings, it's basically 3 notes on the 2 middle strings leading up to that. And then this is the tag for the first half of the C part. One more time. So let's put that whole run together. Now I'm using the open E string there, but you can also use your pinky like this. For that double E note if you want to get that pinky in there. It comes pretty quick when you're playing the tune up to speed, so people who are used to using their pinky should give that a try. But if you're not so strong with your pinky yet, that'll take some practice. All right, so here is the second half of the C part. Basically the same thing with the run up, except we'll have a different tag. So second half of the C part. So same thing with the run up. And then you have this tag. So there you go. There's the phrases for the A, B, and C part slowed down. Now let's take a look at the bowing. The first bowings that I use in this tune are pretty much shuffle bowings, and if you're used to the shuffle bowing, it's just a matter of applying it to these notes. And the shuffle bowing is the classic bow stroke where you have one long stroke followed by two short ones. And you either have a long note on the long stroke, or sometimes you'll have two notes on the long stroke. So what you start out with is, oh, and the pickup notes, da da ba, before you get to that C sharp, da da. Those are just normal short strokes, no slurs in there. That's not exactly it, is it? Let me try to play a little bit faster and see if you can catch the bowing on that. Okay. Let's take a look at that again. So the beginning part's pretty straightforward. If you can get used to just doing that shuffle bow through most of that part, you can pretty much get the bowing for that section. So that's that phrase right there. And then we'll go down on that that B note there. Sorry. So if we come out of that phrase. And what I do is on that triplet, I slur that, and then I go up. And that's how I kind of finish the phrase. Let me see. So I slur those two notes on an up bow when I'm at that point. And then it's all single notes until that triplet slur. All right, so that's a little bit of the bowing there. I'll go over it one more time on this A part. Oops, sorry. All right, that is the bowing for the A part. Now let's look at the bowing for the B part. So the B part starts with that's kind of how I'm bowing the B part, I think. This is a little harder for me to break down, so I'm not quite sure on that, but you have now, instead of going, I'm kind of using a little ghost note there because I want to keep that rhythm going, and I don't want to go. So what I'm doing is kind of getting a little bit of ghost note in there where I'm keeping my bow going, but I'm not really emphasizing the note. So it doesn't sound like, you know, it's more like, yeah, that's it. So that's a little bit of how I'm kind of doing those tags, which are a little different for old-time fiddling, or this style of old-time fiddling at least. It's more common in some of the notier styles of fiddling, but since I kind of play in my style, which is more similar to the West Virginia old-timey way, that kind of phrase, that's how I kind of approach some of those phrases that, how I would play them, how I would bow them, instead of going, which is kind of more of a proper straight style of fiddling. I'm going to kind of just go, kind of mess that up a little bit. All right, so let's look at that, that B part a little bit. Let me just slow that part down for you a little bit. Once again, putting a little ghost note in there. All right, let's take a look at that B part bowing one more time. All right, that's how I'm pretty much bowing the B part. I hope that's helpful. I know it's not super broken down, but hopefully you can glean some of the things I'm doing there. Now onto the C part. Now I definitely can explain exactly how I bow the C part. And what we do here is you start with this long bow down, and then you switch up, still on the open note. And then you get these third and first finger notes continuing on that upstroke. Just like that. And then from there, what I do is we've got basically this, I just go one bow stroke on each string, like that. And then when we get to the D, I'll break back into some single strokes. So. And right there, I do that after I do this double E note. I'll do a slur to kind of to end my stroke. So. Where it's that D to C sharp that I do on an up bow slur. So this E, that E note starts with an upstroke, and then you slur up. So here's the whole first half of the C part with my bowings. Now that bowing is pretty much exactly the same. When I get here, it's all single strokes on that tag except for the last two notes I slur up. So the whole bowing for that section. Would sound like that. All right, that's kind of my approach to bowing this tune. I hope that's helpful. Let me try to play the whole tune slowed down now that you've seen some of the bowings and see if I can't bow this thing like I normally would at normal speed. There you have it. That's Bull at the Wagon. And on our way out of this lesson, let's just try to play it at medium tempo. If you've caught on and you've learned something from this and you feel like you're ready, let's just try it together. Play it one more time and we'll play ourselves out of this lesson. Thanks again for tuning in and watching this. I hope it was informative for you. And I hope you get some juice out of this tune, Bull at the Wagon. It's a really fun one.